Welcome everyone to the 2026 Magnolia Open here, Lake Durant, Oklahoma, Craig Parker Memorial Disc Golf Course. We want to give a special shout out to this year's title sponsor, Discraft, as well as our presenting sponsor, Discover Durant. They have been big supporters of disc golf every year, every step of the way here, and we're just excited to bring you this beautiful property, and let's get into it. How's it going out there, everybody? BigFoot Mike coming at you live on location, Durant, Oklahoma, for the 2026 Magnolia Open. I'm here joined today by a very special guest, Mr. Mason Harrell. Mason, say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Mike, thanks for having me back. I'm glad to be back on the mic, getting to commentate for Magnolia Open right here in my backyard where I grew up at Lake Durant.
Well, y'all, we want to give a special shout out to all of the volunteers and everyone behind the scenes here with the Durant Disc Golf Club. Special shout out to Jerry Robinson for all his hard work, getting this course each and every year, getting stronger, more improvements. And y'all, it's the feedback from the players that we all really take this to heart, because we have a lot of aspirations for this. And, you know, this is all to honor our past president, Craig Parker, who the course is named after, and something that he really wants to showcase this beautiful community. And y'all, without further ado, let's get into it. Final round. Let's get it.
All right, here we are, hole 12, par 4, 545 feet, coming in just slightly under par. We've got a tee shot here that you want either big forehand or big Annie, moving from left to right, ideally getting you around this tree where you've got to look into the pin here. Pretty surrounded by trees. Got thick stuff on the left, thick stuff on the right, thick stuff behind it.
There's also a Mando at this corner, so you really got to throw two quality shots and make a putt to really earn the birdie here.
GT's going to have either a forehand or another big Annie there from that spot. You really want to be a little further right if you can be.
Wow, that is just beautiful right there from Ian. That is exactly ideal.
Ian's going to have a similar angle to GT, but he's going to be a lot closer. Should be a lot easier shot to throw here.
You know, this hyzer right now is going to just make the whole play longer. It's safe, but it's just going to make that a much longer second shot in.
You really want your disc to never go left out of your hand. As soon as it leaves your hand, it needs to be moving right the whole way. Another one kind of hyzering out here.
That's where the OG long position basket plays typically here.
I'm not going to say it's impossible to get the birdie from here, but it's highly unlikely.
Oof, man,
Fredy clips the tree.
It's going to get hairy in there. The rough here, especially on this backside, is extremely rough.
That is an amazing shot for where he was. Yeah, he's up there. Okay.
Inside circle. Beautiful shot. Was that a standstill too?
I think so, yeah.
Jeez.
Like I said, not impossible, but pretty difficult. That's a 95 out of 100 difficulty level shot that he threw there.
Beautiful there by GT, just playing catch with the basket. Textbook right there.
Thing you got to control here is if you start pushing too far right, then you're left with a pretty tough putt. And yeah, he's in there with all the thin little stuff.
This green is difficult because it kind of bottlenecks in there, you know?
I found in my rounds that the best upshot for me was to take a mid and put it on Annie, control the left and right. And if it's a little low, that's fine. Low was better than pushing deep on this basket.
You can see he wanted that one right there. 24 down right there, y'all. Scoreboard pressure.
And that's going to tie him with Fredy. GT gets another one. He's pushing as much as he can. He's playing really well. Yeah, we've got a tie ball game with 8 holes to play now.
Hole 13, par 3, 335 feet, averaging 2.67. It's quite open here from the tee, but then it really gets narrow. You got a gap that you've got to hit. And most of these guys are going to be throwing mids, just trying to throw something straight. Get yourself down in there to get you a look.
It's coming in tied for the second easiest hole on the day. And this is one of the mistakes you cannot make. You cannot throw into that right side and clip it. The other thing is you don't want to be early left. Late left is okay. There are plenty of looks. But you cannot let this out of your hand early or grip locked. It's going to hyzer enough. Yep, that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's right at the entrance. That's probably, you can see the stake back there. That's probably 30 feet.
It's what you want right there. Give yourself a look inside circle.
This is one of the holes where if you can just push it through that tunnel, even if you go long, as we see here, the going long is better than being short on this hole. Now, that may be in a pretty tough spot, but I highly doubt he's taking a bogey from it, most likely just a par. Yep, and great shot there. Freddie's going to have a birdie putt.
Definitely a good shot. You can see how this one's a little tricky here, GT. Man, it gets through. Okay. Man, not bad.
What is Ian left with here? I think he's got to look. Can he convert? A little low.
Yeah, it's tough. There's vines and all kind of... It's really rough in there.
It's a big putt here for Mason because Freddie is closer and most likely getting the birdie. And he's in.
Cash money.
Oh, Freddie actually has to take a knee. This is a little tougher putt than I thought it would be. He's in.
Damn. Okay. 25 each.
This is what we want to see, y'all. Battling at the top. 7 left to play. Felt like such a sad little drop in right there. All right, we've got hole 14, par 5, 935 feet. Coming in slightly over par, 0.15 over par. This is another one that many things can go wrong, especially on the second and third shots on this hole. You could very easily go left or right into the woods on this tunnel, and then you are just in trouble. I don't expect these guys to have much trouble with the tee shot. I think it's going to be more of that second/third shot that's going to mess with them some. You basically just want to be as far straight out here as you can without going too straight OB. There is an OB line up there on the left that keeps you honest.
I think Mason was worried about that initially, hitting that left OB, but he was safe. This is another one that you do want to... You want to try and get around that corner coming back to the right. That's really the key. If you can push hard and then start turning back to the right.
Whoa, this is a different shot shape than I've seen on that hole. Not sure where that landed. We'll have to see in a second. I'm assuming he got out of the tunnel because we're seeing GT up first here, and he's kind of at the edge. GT's really cut off, but he's going to throw out there as far as he can. Okay, maybe he'll have a look through the tunnel for his third there. Freddie goes hyzer. That's definitely a placement shot. He could have put a little more ante on that to get to the tunnel.
Definitely trying to set up that third shot, but yeah, this is...
Where is this? That high shot. Oh, what? He was way up there, just far right. That must have been anteing the whole way out of his hand.
This hole especially is, if you're in the rough, you are in trouble.
This is one of those holes where if you are out of position, it is always in your best interest to lay up to the mouth of this tunnel, and you can still birdie even with the layup there.
Oh, what a kick. Fortunate.
That's an amazing kick. Anything that lands in the middle of that tunnel, you are just so thankful for.
Definitely a shot-saving kick right there for Ian. I've been in there many a times. Not the place you want to be in. And GT with another nice little kick here.
Unless you like the swamp and mushroom hunting, don't go in there. There's nothing good in there for you.
Oof, yeah, that's gonna be tough.
That's in there with the swamp and mushrooms.
Not where you want to be right there, folks. I promise you.
Mason's got a good look all the way through the tunnel here. Can he get up and down for the birdie? That's a great shot.
Beautiful. Wow.
He's 10 feet.
Now, the water on the left and right sides definitely plays casual here, but absolutely not an ideal place to be, even when dry.
And you'll notice Mason, he laid up to the tunnel with the second shot, so he knew to not really push it, not try to get down in that tunnel. Just lay up to the mouth. You can throw all the way through. Probably didn't even need a distance driver to throw all the way through. I'd be willing to bet he probably threw a fairway or a mid there. GT
leaks a little, but I'm sure definitely within his range.
Oh, well, that's another stroke to Mason here.
Could be a 2-shot swing if Mason converts. It is GT. Okay.
This is another hole where, all things considered, you take a par here. You don't feel too bad about it. Maybe not in the final round when the leader is birdieing, but otherwise, it's a pretty tough hole.
And Fredy taking a bogey there.
We actually used to call this hole the Stallion because when we first put it in, there was an old horse skull there near the basket.
Shout out to EMAC on the OG design here. Hole 15, par 3. Very new position here. Shout out to me on the left there on the drones. 401. You've really, this is kind of a unique hole because you're going to have to come out with either something turning over quick or a forehand that's moving heavily left to right. This hole does play uphill, and you've got to be mindful a little bit of the wind. Let's see what Mason can dial up here.
The forehand has to be tight. See, like that was nearly hitting the right edge, and it still pushed a little too far straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a really tight forehand going through that gap. Oh, clips the stuff on the top. He's safe, though. It should be easy par from there.
Yeah, it's the first year in this position, and definitely birdies were tough to come by on this particular hole throughout the event. But it's one of those where, you know, lots of things that can happen, lots of pars, but definitely still got to throw quality shots.
Little bit of design insight on this hole with the change in the basket location. We wanted to make a little more difficult hole because last year and in years past, hole 15 was a par 4 playing all the way through the tunnel. Little bit easy for the pros. They could kind of break it and go over the top. The idea behind this hole and why it is so far right is that this hole is to mirror the hole that they are about to play, hole 16. So you have this one that's 400-ish going to the right for the forehand dominant guys, and then the next hole is about 400-ish backhand dominant going to the left. So they really mirror each other.
And man, no, he probably wants that one back here. Freddie's thinking, man, he wants to make this one for sure.
It's got a little pokey over there on the left. Oh, I don't know if that affected him or not. Surely not, but possibly. Anytime those leaves are just touching you in weird places, it might make you pull the disc a little bit or not fully commit to the putt.
Mason gains another shot here. Lead extends to 3 now.
And he has netted 9 strokes on Fredy this round. I mean, this is masterclass of how to play the course by Mason. And here we are, the hole that I just talked about, a little shorter than what I said, 360. But pretty tight. Got to keep it moving left the whole way. There's OB on the right side. You can be too early left and then not have a good look in that tree, or be too far right and long and have a pretty tough putt through the foliage on the right.
Definitely this left gap is the one that everyone's going to be playing towards. And this one's just staying straight there.
There's a big log right there. If you're at that log, you're probably about 40 to 45 with not much of a look through the foliage. GT's just comes out low.
Yeah, he wants that one back.
Probably just a little bit of form issue there. Pretty standard to just let those out low.
Definitely shows the undulation with this particular hole. Back up the hill. That's very well done there from Ian.
He's got a 20-footer. Yeah, even though this hole is 360, I do feel like it plays a little more like 390, 400, just because you're uphill the whole way. There's a little embankment about 30 feet in front of the basket that you got to get over.
Okay, it's a look. Definitely a look. So now GT is just going to play for the 3. Nestle one up there. Same thing, Mason's it's tough right there. There's a lot of little...
Outside of really messing it up, these guys are not going to get a bogey on this hole. This is basically just a birdie or par hole.
Fredy gets one back there, cuts the lead to 2.
Ooh, oh no, I know he definitely wants that one back after how well he threw that drive.
Yeah, that's tough right there from Ian.
And we are going into the final 4 holes, which is the hardest stretch on the course. Part of the reason that these guys played the course in the way that it was to leave 17, 3, 4, and 5 at the very end to give us a dramatic finish. So we've got new hole 17, par 4, 831 feet, averaging .22 over par. This hole is a monster. From the tee, these guys have got to throw through a gap. Right here, these trees probably are not bothering them, but they've got to put 450 on the disc to get into a good spot where they can even have an attempt to birdie.
I promise y'all that gap is a lot tighter in person.
Yep, when you're standing there, it can get in your head. Oh, what a nice roll. Probably an extra 20 to 30.
Yeah, that's very nice from Fredy.
But yeah, I would say minimum 450 feet the shot. Mm-hmm. If you're not pushing that, you don't have a chance on this. That's great. That's right where you want to be. A little low. Can it push?
Yeah. It's just a little short, but I think it's just, playing for position.
Yeah. He might be watching the score and knowing that he's probably not catching top 2, but can maintain 3rd if he just pars out.
And I think sometimes too, if you're in this position here, you've got a lot more room to go over the top of these trees. So maybe that's part of what he was thinking.
I agree. I actually like the over the top shot here on the second. You can either do what he did and play the hyzer. Oh, he got way up there.
That's beautiful.
I shouldn't underestimate GT's distance. If you've got the distance, you can get up there. But the other play is what we're seeing Mason do here, either forehand on the left or Big Annie on the left. The wind was really keeping the disc from turning over here today. So I think that's why we're seeing all of these hyzer shots and forehand shots is nobody's trying to get the disc on Annie because it would just push it straight.
And there's a little OB there, but, he was definitely safe. But obviously for these players, they're just trying to give themselves a nice, simple look here.
Man, they played this hole great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this was probably the best that a card played the whole weekend, in averaging a quarter stroke over par. None of these guys are going to bogey here. Everyone's walking out with a par or a birdie here.
sneaks one in. Mason, it's huge right there. Extends his lead, at least temporarily, to 3 here. You can see a little fist pump action. He knows 3 with 3.
Great putt there for Ian. Kind of makes up for that missed one on the last hole.
And Ian said he birdied this one each day. So
that's a feat. This hole really, I thought was going to be just pretty tough for these guys.
Man, Fredy needed that.
When Jerry first told me his idea for this hole, I was like, I love it. And then I saw where he put it, and I was like, that's so far. Like, that is so far up there. Like, nobody's going to birdie this, but just goes to show I don't know what I'm talking about with the distance.
Here we are, hole 3, gauntlet here, playing 4.44, so definitely a very tough one, 581 feet. You really want to try and get out to this position to then attack the hole. There's a few gaps and some trees in here, and really the main thing is you want to get around that corner and then push as hard and as far as you can here into the gap to lead you into a putt for 3 and at worst a 4. But this hole is all about the drive and that second shot.
Yep, and we're coming into hole 3 is the 3rd hardest hole on the day, and the hole right after it, hole 4, is the hardest hole on the day. So 2 of the 3 hardest holes right here to see what these guys are made of and see who can win the event.
And that's what I'm talking about for Mason. He knew that it's just all about position here, so very nice.
I think 100% going into this hole, you've got a 3-stroke lead. The goal is don't give anything to him. If he birdies, then cool. But do not take a bogey or worse on this hole and give him anything back. Make him come earn it at this point.
And that was a tough roll away there for Fredy. I mean, he put that in a really nice spot, and it just caught an edge, and then now he's in a tough spot. But Mason here has got a beautiful angle in, just like you saw in the drone. So let's see if he can nestle one up there.
Clips the stuff on the top, and that's the tree that's going to get hit the most. It's the biggest guardian right up there on the front. I think this gap that GT hit is the gap you want to hit, but it needs to be flipping a little more. He still gets up there. He's going to have a putt in the circle. This hole really created some drama in the amateur divisions coming down the stretch. So I'm very eager to see what happens here with Fredy's shot.
Yeah, it's tough because it's also quite a bit back uphill, and then having to navigate that gap and angle control is not easy.
And at this point, Fredy really needs Mason to hit something right here. And he does. Man. I did not know that was going to happen. We got drama, folks. All right. Oh, and he hits a tree as well. They both have a tough putt.
Man.
That should... Fredy needed to really capitalize on that right there and guarantee that he gets one in there. If he makes this putt, then it's all good. But
yeah. This is one of those things where I think fatigue starts to factor into these last few holes, and it's a long, tough walk, you know. I guarantee you everybody playing the tournament got their steps in. That's for sure.
He's got an open putt here, probably 38 feet. And he converts.
Okay.
He takes one back.
So it's going to be 2 shots.
2 shots with the hardest hole on the course coming up. Lots of things can happen here. Don't forget also, if you've seen this tournament in the past, hole 5 is eagleable. So a lot can happen on that hole as well. You can have 2 or 3 stroke swings there very easily. GT's in for par.
Cleaning that up. And Mason's going to drop one in. His first bogey of the round to 26.
All right, here it is. Hardest hole on the course, par 3, 340 feet averaging .78 over par. You've got a very thin tunnel shot all the way through, probably 260, 250 to clear that tunnel. But then here's the hard part, the green. You've got on the pond dam, right in the middle, slope on both sides, OB water on the right, trees everywhere on the left side.
Oh, man, he's going to want that one back. If you're in the trees here, you are in trouble quickly.
He did look like he was just on the left edge. Let's see what Fredy does here. This is what you want, all the way through, pushing, hyzering onto the dam. He's going to have a birdie look. It's a big-time shot from Fredy there. Oh, I like GT's even better, that low, hitting the front of that dam.
It's a big moment here for Mason. He knows he needs to get one through.
It's going to clip that right edge. Does it push? Okay. It's a tough look from there, but it's doable.
And Ian is in some trouble here.
This is kind of what Mike was alluding to.
I actually have an old profile picture of me almost in a very similar spot as Ian right here.
The play really from here is if you've got it, Annie, forehand. But honestly, a stable forehand roller can be good if you know how to dial it up.
Even a pitch out too, you know. There's sometimes you try and do too much. But sometimes just taking the medicine and not trying to force one.
Yeah, he goes with that forehand roller. That's been my experience on this hole as well.
Out of bounds there. Jeez. You know, I saw it from the other angle, and it was just inches from being perfect. It hit that tree and just kept rolling down, and I know Ian couldn't believe it. But going out on the second shot, this is tough.
Yeah, the mistake you want to make there, if you're going to make one on that roller, is let it cut left because you can still have a putt through the trees. Wow, and he's just going to lay up. So Fredy's going to have an opportunity to cut the lead to 1. Mason trusting that he can get the work done on hole 5. Honestly, pretty smart play because a lot can go wrong here on this putt.
Tickled it left side. Wow.
What has Fredy got? Oh, he rolled down to the left. This is a look, but this is a hard one. I was here on day 2, this exact spot, and this is a hard putt. Uphill into the headwind with the OB water behind it.
Yeah, don't forget about that water that's long here. So a lot to think about when you're dialing this putt up.
Man.
Wow.
So he's not going to take one. I thought he was a lot closer than that. All right, Mason's going to go into the final hole with a 2-stroke lead. It's not over yet. A lot can happen. We've got a new elevated basket on the final hole. Pretty windy down there by the water.
And again, you know, final tee shot, a little fatigue maybe factoring, but this is hole 5, par 5, 896 feet, playing 4.67. You got the pond left OB. You got a Mando here that you must be left of. And then you really want to kind of favor this left side because this gap is how you're going to be able to get and attack this hole in 2. You'll see that elevated basket. You got the Lake Durant long. That's obviously OB. So you just got to be really mindful here of this angle and making sure that you're going to be pushing correctly.
Most of these guys are going to throw something that's moving from left to right.
It's a little high.
Yeah. Kind of a hyzer stall play.
Ooh,
oh,
yeah.
No. And that's disaster.
Yeah, he knew that one out of his hand. It's a little high.
Yeah, you really don't want to stall here. You really want it to be moving from left to right, like GT's is right here. A little bit of hyzer at the end is okay, but you cannot stall it out here. And that, outside of Mason throwing OB a couple of times, I think that might be the end of the tournament.
Oh, he gets over on that.
There is a Mando over there. And,
missed it.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
Man.
I did not expect that. Okay.
How about that, Miss Mando graphic?
So Fredy's hopes and dreams do stay alive with the Miss Mando, although I will say that Mason is in a much better spot with the Miss Mando rather than where Fredy is with the OB.
So throwing his third shot here.
I mean, this is totally possible for him to get all the way down there.
Oh, yeah.
And still putt for birdie if he throws a good enough shot here. Wow, that is amazing.
There it is. Wow.
And I'm going to say it with that, it's over.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything Fredy can do from where he's at.
He's going to have to throw one in here.
Yeah, basically get an albatross, but not really because of the OB stroke.
Yeah, be an eagle here.
That's all he's got is he can throw over or around, but if he throws around, he's just taking a par.
Can hear the wind really ripping here now too.
Yeah, he's just gonna throw around. I think he knows it's over with. He's gonna push it. Forgot that wind's pushing in the good direction to get it all the way down there. Wow.
Man.
Oh, man.
Heck of a shot right there. He just needed that to be his drive.
Yeah, he did. He just needed it to stay in bounds. The wind, I forgot when I was saying that a while ago, the wind is pushing from right to left, so it is the perfect wind to throw that over the top shot and get all the way down there. That shot is highly dependent on what direction the wind is blowing.
You know, for a second, actually, when I was up there, I thought we were looking for Mason's disc, but, you know, it's actually Ian's that we're looking for. But I thought, goodness, if Mason's was long, this really could take a spin and a turn for the worst here. But Ian ends up finding it here.
Another hole that we elevated this year. A little bit of a dramatic finish here. Was the hope there, but Mason put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, this finish of 3, 4, 5 has just been just awesome to see. You know, when the pressure's on the line, very demanding holes, a lot to think about.
And he knows that he can just lay this one up and win by 1.
Yeah, there it is right there, y'all.
Man, Fredy fought all round. Only finishes 1 under par on the round, but he just had a lot of unfortunate things happen, and Mason just threw really well despite the high wind and high pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your 2026 Magnolia Open MPO champion, Mr. Mason Marchbanks.
Man, top 2, 3 years in a row. Winning it 2 of those 3 years. He's had an amazing stretch at the Magnolia Open.
Yeah, this has got to be one of his favorite courses and events. You know, he just dials it up every time he's out here. So here's a look at the leaderboard here. Mason, of course, finishing on top. Fredy, second. GT at 18, finishing third. Andrew Presnell in fourth. We got a tie here. Scott Adams and Emerson Keith tied for fifth at 9. Ian finishing at 8 down. Seth Ward, shout out. Norman, Oklahoma, as well as Gavin Ostenkop representing Team Bigfoot Pro. Isaiah Mareva, Casey Millard, shout out, also Team Bigfoot. And
Durant local, man.
Yeah, hey. That's
stepping up and cashing an MPO, that's big time.
You know, former MA1 champ. And then how about Joe Carey out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Villain Disc, eagling hole 18, or I should say hole 5, his final hole to cash. What a awesome finish for him. Alrighty, y'all, we appreciate each and every one of y'all watching this coverage. And hey, we want to give a shout out to Discraft, Discover Durant, Durant Tourism. We also want to give a shout out to the Durant Disc Golf Association, Jerry Robinson, all of the volunteers, everybody a part of Bigfoot Pro here. Shout out to Mason with joining us on the commentary. We got Jamie, we got Moose, we got Jesse, and we got also Drake running the cams this particular weekend. And y'all, what an awesome event and showcase of one of the premier courses in our state. And we're just so thankful for each and every one of y'all watchers and people who are going to be willing to come out. Maybe you missed it this year. We'd love to have you out next year and just enjoying the awesome festivities in the evenings, all the awesome fun events that we do at night. And Mason, anybody you want to give a shout out to here?
Man, I don't have any shout outs. I think you covered them all, but I'm just very happy to be a part of this and get to watch these guys play and commentate over it. The course is very special to me. I grew up right there next to the lake. My house is a couple hundred yards from hole 17 and 2's basket, my old childhood house. So it's just a crazy place to see a disc golf course, considering it wasn't there when I was a kid. But I'm very happy that we get to put on this event and bring people in from all over the country to come see Durant and see what we've got to offer. And I hope that we just continue to elevate the course and the tournament and continue bringing you BigFoot Pro coverage for the event.
And y'all, I also just want to give a shout out to all the feedback that we've received, not only with our coverage, but just, all the hard work with that goes into the event, the layout, the course. I know that myself, Jerry, the whole club here, that's what we always want to keep pushing the bar higher and higher each and every year. And we just want this to be one of the events that you're going to circle on your calendar in 2027. So, hey, on behalf of BigFoot Pro, my name is Bigfoot Mike, joined by Mason here. We hope to see y'all on the next one. We're out.